Welcome to Dark Knight Films Reviews, and another special ranking video. Tonight, we will be counting down our picks for the best horror film endings. For this list, we are looking at endings that shocked us, and maybe even left us heartbroken by the end. So let's begin this list. Coming in at number 10 is Night of the Living Dead from 1968, directed by the legendary George A. Romero. In this film, we follow, identify with, and root for Duane Jones, Ben, hoping that he will survive the zombie hordes outside that farmhouse. And by the end, after boarding himself up in the cellar and disposing of Harry and Helen's rising undead, he looks to have indeed survived. And in the morning it looks like he'll be rescued when an armed posse comes along. Unfortunately for Ben, they mistake him for a zombie and shoot him dead.
There's something there. I heard a noise. All right, Vince, hit him in the head, right between the eyes. Good shot. Okay, he's dead. Let's go get him. That's another one for the fire.
And to make this ending even more bleak, Ben's body is tossed into a bonfire with the very things he had been fighting to survive this whole film. And coming in at number 9 is Interview with the Vampire from 1994, directed by Neil Jordan. In this film, a reporter named Daniel Malloy, played by Christian Slater, interviews a man named Louis, played by Brad Pitt, who claims to be a vampire. He tells a tale of meeting and being turned into a vampire in 1791 by a master vampire named Lestat, played excellently by Tom Cruise. After years of feeling that he's being tortured by Lestat, he begs him to turn a young girl named Claudia, played by Kirsten Dunst, who is dying from the plague. However, turning her seems to lead to Lestat's death, as after 30 years pass and Claudia realizes that she will never age, poisons him with dead blood and viciously slashes his throat. But he does survive this, and in a weakened state attacks Louis later, only to be set on fire and is seemingly killed again in the burning building. But after finishing his story to Daniel, he angers him by asking him to turn him. After Louis allows him to escape, Daniel is listening to the tape of his interview when Lestat attacks him and is revealed to be still alive, yet again.
Good stuff. I assume I did no introduction.
And clocking in at number 8 is Final Destination from 2000, directed by James Whale. In this film, high school student Alex Browning, played by Devon Sawa, has a premonition of death on a plane trip the school is planning. When he tries to get off the plane, he inadvertently causes many others who would have died in the plane crash to get off, before it does indeed blow up upon takeoff. After which, every person that should have died on the plane begin to be killed in very odd, seemingly accidental deaths. Alex realizes that it is death's way of making things right, and after many of them have been killed, the 3 survivors, Alex, Clear, and Carter, seem to have overcome death's plan. But while in Paris, in celebration, Carter saves Alex from another elaborate accident, only to get killed himself.
I told you you were next. You just skipped me. So who's next?
Coming in at number 7 is Jeepers Creepers from 2001, directed by Victor Salva. In this film, a brother and sister, Trish and Derry Jenner, played by Gina Phillips and Justin Long, are tormented and chased by the mysterious creeper, played by Jonathan Breck, after they witness him dumping what appears to be a body down a large pipe. You fully embrace their characters and want to see them both make it through this, but at the end of a brutal police massacre, Derry is taken by the creeper. Trish, as well as us as the audience, is heartbroken. We then cut to the creeper's lair, where we hear Derry's screams and eventually see his eyeless corpse before the creeper comes up behind it to reveal that he now has Derry's eyes. And coming in at number 6 is The Fog from 1980, directed by John Carpenter. In this film, a town priest named Father Malone, played by Hal Holbrook, discovers a diary which reveals that in 1880, his grandfather and 5 other founders of Antonio Bay deliberately wrecked a ship named the Elizabeth Dane so that its wealthy owner Blake could not establish a leper colony nearby. They then plundered the wreckage and used Blake's gold to establish the town. And through a mysterious fog, the Elizabeth Dane returns, and Blake seeks revenge on the town by taking 6 lives in place of the 6 conspirators. Malone realizes this, and in a bid to protect the remaining townsfolk, he offers the gold and himself to spare the others. Blake and his crew eventually disappear without taking the 6th life, and Malone wonders why he was spared. Until Blake appears behind him and decapitates him with his sword. Coming in at number 5 is Saw from 2004, directed by James Wan. The film revolves around the mystery of the Jigsaw Killer, who tests his victims' will to live by putting them through deadly games where they must inflict great physical pain upon themselves to survive. The main story follows Jigsaw's latest victims, Lee Wanell as Adam and Carrie Elwes as Dr. Gordon, who awaken in a large, dilapidated bathroom, with Gordon being ordered by Jigsaw through a microcassette recorder found on a supposedly dead body on the floor between them, to kill Adam in order to save his own family. The shocking ending of this one is after Gordon saws his own foot off and goes for help. Adam confronts and kills Zeb, who he believes to be Jigsaw. But after he finds a microcassette on his body, it is revealed that he was just another victim of Jigsaw's games. And the body on the floor rises up to reveal that it was John Kramer / Jigsaw, played by the excellent Tobin Bell, who had been there this whole time in plain sight.
Most people are so ungrateful to be alive. Not anymore. Game over.
And coming in at number 4 is Carrie from 1976, directed by Brian De Palma. In this classic film, a young student named Carrie White, played excellently by Sissy Spacek, is picked on and tormented in high school by bullies Chris and Norma, played by Nancy Allen and PJ Soles. This bullying culminates with a vicious prank at the prom in which Chris and her boyfriend Billy Nolan, played by John Travolta, arrange to have a bucket of pig's blood dumped on Carrie, as she is crowned prom queen. This results in her using her telekinetic powers to kill all of those at the prom, except for Sue Snell, played by Amy Irving, as she was kicked out of the prom by Miss Collins. After Carrie's death, Sue goes to lay flowers on the charred remains of Carrie's home, when suddenly, Carrie's bloody arm reaches from beneath the rubble and grabs Sue. Coming in at number 3 is Friday the 13th from 1980, directed by Sean S. Cunningham. In this classic film, when a group of counselors, setting up to reopen Camp Crystal Lake, begin to be killed viciously by an unseen killer. A lone survivor in Alice Hardy, played by Adrienne King, faces off against the killer, who is revealed to be Pamela Voorhees, played by Betsy Palmer, who was killing out of revenge for the drowning death of her son, Jason. After a short battle between the two, Alice gets the upper hand and dispatches Pamela with a decapitation. Alice gets into a canoe and falls asleep as it floats out onto the lake. She is awakened by the police on land. But as she looks up, happy that she is now safe, Jason's decomposing corpse leaps out and drags her into the lake. And coming in at number 2 is Phantasm from 1979, directed by Don Coscarelli. In this classic film, the mysterious tall man, played to perfection by Angus Scrimm, a supernatural and malevolent undertaker who turns the dead at his mortuary into dwarf zombies to be sent to his planet and used as slaves. He is opposed by a young boy, Mike, played by A. Michael Baldwin, who tries to convince his older brother Jody, played by Bill Thornberry, and family friend Reggie, played by Reggie Bannister, of the threat. In the end, Jody is seemingly killed by the tall man, and Reggie attempts to convince him that he simply died in a car accident and proposes a road trip. But when Mike enters his bedroom to pack, the tall man appears and hands crash through the bedroom mirror, pulling Mike inside. And finally coming in at number 1 is Sleepaway Camp from 1983, directed by Robert Hiltzik. In this classic film, Angela, played by Felissa Rose, the seemingly surviving child of a boating accident which killed her father and brother, is now traumatized. She has been living with her eccentric aunt, Martha Thomas, and her cousin Ricky. Angela and Ricky are sent to Camp Arawak, and due to her introverted nature, Angela is bullied by fellow camper Judy, played by Karen Fields, and camp counselor Meg, played by Catherine Cammie. But, much like Friday the 13th, an unseen killer begins to murder those at the camp. It is eventually revealed in one of the most infamous scenes in slasher movie history that Angela was the one who died in the boating accident, and Aunt Martha convinced the brother that he was Angela, and it was him who was the mysterious killer all along.
Angela, are you all right?
Angela, can you hear me? God, she's a boy.
Well, that's it for this top 10. Did you agree with these picks, or would you have picked other films? Let us know in the comments down below. And if you have enjoyed this ranking video, do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to click that bell icon to be notified about future videos, just like this one, and click that join button to become a Dark Knight fan. Anyway, that's the end of another ranking video. If you missed our last ranking video, be sure and click above. And if you missed any of our previous ranking videos, check out this playlist to catch up on anything you've missed.